Traveling Machinist here. A little rainy out today. I'm going to go visit my old school. This is the Votech that I went to in 1988. I'll flip you around here. That section right there is where the machine shop is in. We'll just take a little walk, do a little tour of the old shop. Beautiful day out, huh? What we got here? Culture stone. All right. Right there's the building for the machine shop. Coming up on some display stuff here, as you can see. I'll get you in there. We'll talk. All right. I'll take you inside. All right, I'm gonna start back here at the back of the shop. Some different equipment in here since I've been here many years ago. Basically, I got horizontal saw, raw stock material. Got a little bench mill here. And this is, when I get to the Philippines, I would love to meet up with some owners and tour their facilities. I may have a couple of shops or a couple of manufacturers I might go visit here before I head out. I don't know, I'm working on the details. We got drill presses. These are manual mills. And this is a Votech. This is not like the college yesterday. So, we got a couple of students here making their parts. How you doing, sir? Is this what you're making?
Yes.
Basically, he's taking a solid chunk and he's cutting it down to the specs of the print.
What's this?
What's that?
What's this?
What's this?
Was that?
Oh, yes, it was solid stock. And it's steel.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So that's what a manual mill does, rotates the tool, not the part. We got, let's see, what do we got over here? This here looks like an EDM, wire EDM. Basically there's a thin wire that gets put in here, and then through electrical discharge, it actually will cut the shape out. I don't see any real parts laying here. That's wire EDM. This is a sinker, I believe. Basically, these are carbon electrodes. Electricity then just plunges into the material, making a cavity. So you would machine the shape on here out of the carbon, which is like pencil lead kind of. And you do that on another machine and then bring it over here and then plunge into your stock. And through electrical discharge, it'll disintegrate the material. As you can see, we got a scrap bin, vertical saw, some old lathes. Looks like they may be going away. This is your typical manual lathe again. It's got a 3-jaw chuck on there. Quick change tool post. So basically what that means is you got tool holders like this cut off and you can slide them in here and then lock them down real quick. You can have a bunch of these set up so that you can do multiple operations. All your gears. Looks like we got some 3D printers here. I am not sure how they open. Assuming this opened. There we go. Figured it out. Basically, these are additive instead of subtractive type methods. They actually add material to build the part. So these are a couple of 3D printers. Big granite surface plate. We use this for layout of your projects, measuring your project. It's a super flat surface. That's a big granite surface plate. So these are basically the manual lathes, mills. Now we'll go over to the CNC department. So there's some brand new mills here. Nice and shiny. Alright, so over here, basically these are the same type of equipment as the mills and the lathes. It's just that they are computer controlled. And as you can see, we got some little mills here, similar to what was up at school, up at the college yesterday. Well, Haas is a big name in the educational world. There's lots of different names available. How you doing, sir?
How are you?
I'm just walking and talking to myself. What's that? All right, we got Cameron here. He's working on a control panel here. That's the print he's working on. He's trying to build that part. So what do you do with this little box here? What is this? I see them hanging on all the machines.
Yep, so this is just a simulator here. It's not the actual controller that would go on the machine, but it's pretty much the same thing as that. It simulates what that controller can do on the machine.
Okay.
Yep, so right now I'm working on just writing up code for this program that I'm going to make this part of.
That's the code right there.
Yep.
And then from that code you do what?
So from that code I can have that run through in the machine and it'll create this part based off of the different coordinates I selected with the code.
So right now you're like manually programming that?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you used the other type of? Is there another way to program?
Yeah, so there's different software you can use. Mastercam is a very popular one. You can use that to generate the code that I'm handwriting.
Okay.
So
Well, thank you, Cameron.
I can run it through if you want to. And
Sure.
Show you how that looks.
So we got like a simulation on the screen.
Yep. So that was.
So basically what's happening here is each one of these lines, he programs it from this point to this point in that code there. and then he repeats it. Looks like he's using a G71, which is a can cycle. That's why you get these multiple depths. So I won't get into too much detail on it, but thanks, Cameron. But that controller can be done that's a lathe situation right here. And the mill has a few similar type codes. But anyways, that would be hung right there. That's what he's working on. It's just that controller's not on the machine. Like this machine has a mill. All right, Cameron, I'm gonna wander around. Get back with you. Thank you. And we have another student over here. How you doing, sir? Looks like he's making a block with some holes. Are you two manually programming this?
Yeah. Right now I'm just touching.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Robbie.
Robbie?
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Right now I'm just going through all the tools that we're going to be using and touching them off on the block.
So these are all the different tools you're using.
Yep.
He's got a list of tools.
Yeah, that list.
Can you show me how these are your tools, right?
They're all in the machine right now.
Okay. So basically you got a carousel there that holds the tools,
Yep.
and then can you do a tool change?
Yep.
So what'll happen, he can program the tool call out and an M06, and it'll automatically go to home position. So once you get the program running and the program is set, then you can just put parts in and it'll run and change tools and do all its things automatically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
And again, that's a mill, rotating tool. I keep saying that over and over, but I want to make sure you kind of understand what a mill and a lathe is. Here's another one of these 20 by 40s. We got a classroom. This is where probably the CAD stations are set up. So you'll have different computers. There's CAD and then there's CAM. CAD is a computer-aided design, like SolidWorks. There's a software program, and then the CAM side would be the software that actually creates that code that you saw him manually programming. It's a little bigger machine. So basically, the tool would come down and carve this out to the program specs. Like all these little holes that would have been drilled on this machine probably, or another machine, whichever. And then we produce parts, such as even this vice jaw. We'll take a solid block and drill holes. This happens to be a hardened one, and it's ground, so again, I won't get into too much detail. This is just a bigger version of that mill. Hold bigger parts. Then we got some tool holders, tool presetters. Then we got the newest, dandiest one, 5-axis machine. These are basically three-axis machine. And if you put like a 4th axis on, let me explain that a little bit. Basically what I mean by 3-axis is you have Z, and then this direction, X is this way, and Y. So that's 3 directions. 1, 2, and 3. So what happens on a 4th, you put a rotary table on the table here, and then it rotates this way, so that's your 4th axis. Where a 5-axis machine, like this one, has a trunnion. So this circle will rotate around. Then this arm, or trunnion I believe we call it, will spin up this way and spin this way. And then on top of it, you still have the normal 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. So that's why you get 5 axes out of this. Very nice machine. Looks fairly new. I think Bill said it was new. And then on this one, the tool change. Is it probably a magazine? Nope, still a carousel. Can hold up to 24, 20, how many tools? 30 tools. So yeah, this is the shop that I went to school back in the day. We did not have these CNCs back then. What we had, I'll get you over there in just a minute, but this is basically your lathe. And what happens here again is you rotate the part. We hold the part here, and you can see they've done some turning. And then the tools are basically stationary. This one does have live tools on it, so it's a little more advanced. What I mean by live tools is like here we can put a tool and we can come down and drill a hole, things like that, all in the machine. And they get a lot more technical. They got lots of different machines. These are basic machines, CNCs. And this is a bar machine, they call it. Still a lathe. But what happens here is you'll put a 4-foot bar in here and you'll line them up, and then it'll automatically put them into the back of the machine so the machine can run continuously making production parts. As you can see. Anyways, like I said, I didn't have any of these machines here when I started. What we had was an NC machine, and the only thing, basically, was a mill like this. You know, your basic knee mill, but it had motors attached to here, here, and then on the knee, and then it had a tape reader in the back that you would actually put a punch tape in, and I could write a code and control the 3 axes through a punch tape reader. And then we progressed to the full-blown CNCs. I'll take you up here. Looks like they're getting into making some parts for motorcycles. See, like this part here, you would start out with like a solid stock, and then you would lathe and mill it to make this actual part. That's what a machinist does. Like in this casing here for the transmission, you can see all these surfaces, how they're all nicely machined. Once you get it out of the cast from the casting house, all of this stuff isn't done, it's all raw. So there's not like any precision to it. So what we'll do is we'll take the casting, mount it up, fixture it up, and then, you know, come in and cut surfaces on here so that they're square and parallel and perpendicular and all that good stuff to make it so it fits all together precisely. Alright, looks like we got a tour going on. Alright, Traveling Machinist out. We'll talk to you later.